Today, I want to do a short review of a collection of short stories that I read by Barbara Molinard. This collection is first published in 1969, and after that, it was basically just lost to literature. It is a collection of short stories called Viens in French, and it was recently translated and published by the Feminist Press, and the translator is Emma Ramadan. Barbara Molinard wrote a lot, even though we don't have any of her other surviving works because she took them all and tore them up. We have these 13 stories with 13 characters or more, in the case of stories where we have two or more characters. In these 13 stories, we are presented with characters who show classic symptoms of depression, anxiety, claustrophobia, uh, madness, a feeling of being thrown into the void. And they are all illogical and they narrate their own stories. So you can even expect a lot of unreliable narration. So we are presented with characters who see themselves being oppressed and having to live and experience this anxious state of being alive, mutilated bodies, decomposing bodies. So it's all a lot of horrifying things being done to them. They are experiencing the people they see around them. So as you read this book, you get a sense that the characters really do not want to be living. They are almost obsessed and wanting of death. And in this collection, you will feel very, very weird. I think Barbara Molinard does a really good job of showing you in a very absurdist and surrealist way how living is more of an abyss than anything else. It's so pointless. So this is a lot of drawing on from Camus' myth of Sisyphus, but she goes further to present that death is the only surprise we can expect in life, because that's something that's so exciting. So through the lenses of these unreliable, illogical, and mad characters, you will see how they all plummet into this sense of death in all the stories, or even literally, and they all kind of feel exhilarated and accepted and bring it together in the end. So this book is something that is quite challenging to read if you do not open your mind to an illogical story that is as similar to an absurdist painting. But they're very, very, very good. And they all stand alone to kind of represent a specific type of fear or anxiety. There is nothing more riveting and also moving than realizing that the author you're reading was basically writing all this from a lived experience. So Barbara Molina does a really great job of bringing us together with her into the void of this feeling of life being a constant struggle and having this almost mad, ecstatic anticipation of death as the only surprise life has to offer. So if you plan on reading this book, I hope that you give it the grace and consideration that it deserves. It's a really great inventive work of literature. I think I have never read anything like this, so I hope you find this exciting and you also try to give it a read. I found it very good to read at bedtime because then it kind of elevated my dreams into something weirder and weirder than they usually are. I know everyone probably experiences this, that dreams tend to be very illogical and inconsistent. So reading this right before bed, especially like reading just one story before bed, is really good. So feel free to share your comments in the video if you have read this book by Barbara Molinard, if you ever heard of her, in the comments below. And I'm excited to learn what you guys are reading in the terms of surrealist, absurdist sort of fiction.